And Google might be in some hot water themselves. A subcontractor who was working on Google voice recognition leaked about 1,000 different Google Home recordings to VRT News in Belgium. You can read the whole story linked here on screen. They have an English version of the article as well. And what this publication did was listen to the recordings and then sought out the people who had made them. And these folks, of course, had no idea that their personal information from their Google Assistant was making its way to a subcontractor who then turned over the recordings to the media. It's kind of scary that they're allowing that data to flow so freely out of their servers, but that's exactly what happened here. And this is just another example as to why you really need to understand the implications sometimes of having one of these devices in your home. Now, these devices, of course, are not always listening, but they often accidentally hear the trigger word and start recording. And out of the 1,000 or so recordings that VRT News listened to, several hundred of them were the result of an accidental recording that these employees nonetheless had access to. So I'm really concerned here that Google is just turning over data to third parties that have less data security in this case than the Google mothership has, and you should all be aware of that. Now you can go into your Google history and look up all the prior voice commands that you have had your assistant handle for you. And one thing that I discovered was that when it had an accidental trigger like this one, I don't have access to that recording at all, but clearly somebody at Google does if VRT News here was able to get it from that contractor. So just keep these things in mind if you are using these voice assistants. This is true not only of Google, but also of Amazon and others who are doing these voice things because they're constantly trying to hear examples of things that didn't go right so that they can fix it in the future. And this is an example of what happens when that data gets out. Now, if you want to review what Google's got on you, you can go to myactivity.google.com and you can go through and see what recordings it has made on your behalf. But even erasing it from here doesn't mean it goes away, as we just saw from that VRT story. So just keep all these things in mind. And it's kind of scary when you dig into this site how much stuff they've got on you. So every YouTube video you've watched, every news article that you've read, every website that you have visited, anything that you're doing on a Google product is going into this list, and you can filter it out by date and activity, and it's all just sitting in there. And you can imagine that if you ever get yourself into trouble, the government's going to subpoena all of that and have a very good history as to not only where you've been, but what you've done and what you're thinking too. We're just sending it all away into these servers here. And what's crazy about our real dystopian future here is that we've all just done it voluntarily, but I think these days of just unrestricted data collection are slowly coming to an end. And this is one way to see exactly the extent as to how much of our private information is now potentially available to others. Pretty scary stuff, and you can see for yourself on the link on screen.
This channel is brought to you by the Lon.TV supporters, including gold-level supporters, the 4 Guys with Quarters podcast, emudev.org, Tom Albrecht, Brian Parker, and Kalyan Kumar. If you want to help the channel, you can by contributing as little as $1 a month. Head over to Lon.TV/support to learn more. And don't forget to subscribe. Visit Lon.TV/s.